Hi, I'm Little Rich Schneider with Rockalitas Tortillas, Colorado's premium innovative tortilla baker. I'm at Ardent Mills Innovation Center today with Lori Scanlon, who's working on innovation with tortillas, chips, and quinoa. Traditionally, tortillas and tortilla chips are made through a classic Mexican culinary technique called nixtamalization. This process allows the hard corn kernels to undergo many favorable changes, including increasing nutrient bioavailability and bringing about the amazing flavor and aroma and texture changes that we need in corn masa to make chips and tortillas. I'm gonna let you get to work and I'll be back to taste some in just a bit.
As Rich mentioned, nixtamal is a time-honored process to transform corn into masa. This rediscovered culinary trend can be used with quinoa, demonstrating one additional way that quinoa's versatility extends beyond its main use in whole seed form. Quinoa's rise as a superfood has seen remarkable growth. Quinoa has many great attributes for innovation in plant-based, whole grain, non-GMO, and gluten-free foods. Quinoa is typically recognized for its protein, but did you know that quinoa is a good source of fiber, B vitamins, iron, and is considered a low glycemic food? We will be using 100% Colorado-grown quinoa today. Colorado Quinoa has a large bran layer, which is ideal for making masa, as you will see in just a little bit. The first step is to cook the quinoa in lime water. The lime is food-grade calcium hydroxide, better known as cal in the making of masa. We will use 0.5% cal to the weight of the quinoa. We have 540 grams of quinoa in our batch, so we will need 2.7 grams of cal. Our quinoa to water ratio is 1 to 1 1/4, which equates to 675 grams of water. I'm going to add the water to the pan, add the cal. Now let's go cook the quinoa. Okay, we're going to bring our lime water to 180 Fahrenheit. We're there. Now we're going to stir in our quinoa, start our timer, and simmer for 1 minute at 165 Fahrenheit for a heat treatment step and to allow the cal to start to soften the bran. These conditions are different than corn, but quinoa is much smaller and cooks faster. Okay, we're going to remove from the heat and drain. You should see a nice yellow hue from the alkalinity of the cal. And quinoa should have translucent edges with white centers similar to what we look for in corn. We want to make sure we set aside the excess lime water. It is very nutritious and flavorful, and we want to add that to the masa dough later. Now let's grind the quinoa by hand on the stone metate. This will best mimic the volcanic stone masa wheels. I look for the white starch centers to disappear into the masa. The masa smells so good. Now let's scrape and set this aside. The finer you can grind it, the more delicate the chips will be and the easier the dough is to handle. To make the masa dough, we'll add half of our freshly ground quinoa, or 428 grams. We'll add 15% lime water, or 76 grams. We want to add enough lime water to allow the dough to come together. We don't want it to be too dry or the tortillas will crack, and we don't want it too wet or they might be too sticky. We're going to turn the mixer on low. The cal aids in making a cohesive dough and releases the natural gums in the quinoa. The added bran in Colorado quinoa helps with this and contributes to the pliability of a tortilla. Okay, the dough has come together in about 2 minutes. And what we're looking for is a texture like Play-Doh. Now we're going to portion into 10 to 12 gram dough balls. Once portioned, the dough balls can be sheeted into tortillas. Okay, we've placed our pre-sheeted tortillas on the griddle. Now we want to cook them on high for 2 minutes. Our goal is to cook the outside lightly and retain the moisture inside. Now we let them cool. We are going to cut our cooled tortillas into wedges. It's best to allow them to equilibrate before frying so they fry more evenly. Now let's go fry some chips. Okay, we're gonna fry the wedges at 325 to allow the chips to cook through before developing a nice color. You should see the moisture bubbles start to slow down and it's time to pull. About 30 seconds. Shake, transfer, salt, flip, salt, and flip again. And finally, it's time to enjoy the chips. Ready, Rich?
Boy, am I. Oh my gosh, a hot, freshly fried quinoa chip. It's like a peanutty popcorn.
Isn't it great seeing Colorado quinoa used in this way? Thank you for working with me and the Ardent Mills team. To learn more about how we're nourishing what's next with quinoa and Ardent Mills' full portfolio of ingredients, please visit us online at ardentmills.com.